move towards the next method, that is called as a winding number method. What is this winding number method? It is also an alternative of this even odd method, but in this method also we will start with the or begin with our even odd method. In that we will consider we will draw the line between the point of question and outside point. Means what? We will take one point that we have to find whether inside or outside, then we will take one point which is completely outside. The purposefully we are taking one point, that is called as the outside point, and then we will draw the line between that 2 points, and then we will consider the edges which this line crosses. Means again we are finding the intersection point over here, right. But in winding method we will also calculate the direction of that boundary line. Means what? In even odd we are just working with the intersection, we are just counting the number of intersection, but now with that intersection what we are going to find out? The direction of each boundary line which is crossed by the line. So, we are taking the sum of this direction number, and that direction number will indicate the direction in which polygon is drawn. So, I am saying the direction number I am going to give, but how we are calculating that direction number? So, that direction number will depends upon how the polygon is drawn. So, you can see here. So, in this the polygon is drawing in this direction, you can see here the polygon is drawn in this direction. So, I have given the direction with the arrow also, right. So, this is what, in this way the polygon is drawn. Then I have to take one point which is the point of question, means I have to find whether this point is inside or outside. For this purpose I have taken one point which is completely outside of that polygon, and then I will join the line, right. So, after that what I am going to do? I will find out that intersection point as well as the direction count. So, the side which start at above the drawn line and the crosses the line, then end if that crossing the line and ends below to that line, in that case we have to say the direction number is 1. Means what? If I have taken this point, after that I have taken this point, right. So, after taking the point and after joining the line, we will find out the line which is crosses to this line. So, which is the line crossing? So, here you can see the line is changing the color, right. So, that line we have to see. If the side of this line starts above the drawn line, yes, this line is started from this point, right. So, which is above the drawn line. See here, this is what the line we are having, which is called as a drawn line, okay. And then this is what my intersection point. So, what I am going to do over here? With this intersection point, I will find out which is the line. We are having the line which is changed with color, right. So, this line is starting from above this drawn line and which is ending, here it is starting and which is ending at below of this drawn line, right, which is starting at above and which is ending at below. Then at that time I have to consider the count as a 1 or a number as a 1, okay. So, here you can see that the number of that point of intersection will be considered as a 1, because the line is started above and it is ending below to that drawn line, that is why we are counting it as a 1. If the edge of the polygon will start below the drawn line, okay. So, in that case, and if it end after that drawn line, then we have to give the -1 direction. So, consider the next line. Now, you can see the change in color of that line. Now, in this line we can see that it is start from below point, right. This point is below to this drawn line. So, it is starting from below and it is ending at above that line. So, in this case we have to consider this line as a -1. So, in this way we have to calculate that. So, you can see here it will be considered as a -1. Why? Because this line is starting at below the drawn line and it ends up above the drawn line, that is why it is considered as a -1. Again, for the next line, it is starting from above the drawn line and it ends below, that is why I am considering as a plus 1, and if the line is starting from below to above that drawn line, then it is considered as a minus 1. So, this thing we have to do. So, with counting the number or counting the intersection, we are also considering the direction. So, to again at the end we are finding the sum of that all the numbers. If that sum is 0, then we can say that point is outside. If that sum is non-zero, then we can say the point is inside. What we are doing in even odd? If sum is odd, then point is inside. If sum is even, point is outside. Now, here what we are calculating? If sum is 0, then point will be outside. If sum is non-zero, then point will be inside. So, what is the sum of these points now? 1 minus 1 plus 1. Then summation will be 1, means non-zero. So, I can say that this point is inside of that polygon. So, in this way we have to do. Again we have different cases over here. Let us see one by one. So, case number 1, this is my polygon. Now, A is a point of question. This is what my point A, which I have to find whether inside or outside. Then I will take one point which is surely outside, that is point B. I have to choose, right. That point B, how we are choosing? That we are taking the x value of this point which is less than the minimum x value of the polygon. The minimum x value is this. So, I have taken one point over here which is surely outside, right. With that point, what we can do? We are finding the intersection. So, we are joining a line, and then after that we have finded one point that is called as a intersecting point or intersection point C. Okay. It is same as a even odd method. Up to this it is same as even odd method. Now, edge of the polygon which is getting intersected by that particular line AB is starting from above the constructed line and ends below the constructed line. So, you can see here the line is changing the color, right. So, this change line color is intersecting to this line AB, right. So, AB is my drawn line. So, you can see that this line is starting from the above of drawn line and it ends below the drawn line. If it is starting above and ends below the drawn line, then we are considering the value as a 1. So, that is why we will consider the count it as a 1. So, I will count that point as a 1. There is no another intersection point, right. So, no need to find out the summation on this single intersection point. So, at the end my total count will be 1, that is non-zero, and if the count is non-zero means point is inside. So, here we can say that the point A is completely inside of that polygon. So, this is what the case 1, where the intersection point is not a vertex, right. Here the intersection point is not a vertex. Here the point is intersecting to the edge, and that edge is starting from above the drawn line and ending below the drawn line. So, we can say the point A is inside. The case number 2, here polygon is given one point A, that we have to find out whether that point is inside. For that we have calculated one point which is completely outside, and I have drawn the line between this A to B. With this point we are having the two intersection, that is C and D. Both intersections are not the vertex of a polygon, they are only the edges. I will just find out the direction, in which direction. So, you can see that for to check out whether that point A is inside or not, what we have to do? First we will see for the point C, here the line color is changing. So, you can see that for this line, the line is starting from above the line AB and it ends below the line AB. For that we are considering its count as a +1. If the line is drawing from below the line AB and ends above the line AB. So, for this second number it is starting from the below of line AB and its end above the line AB. So, in that case we are considering it as a -1. So, for the C we are having value as a +1 and for D we are having the value as a -1. So, I will take the summation of this +1 -1 will become 0, and if summation is 0 then we can say that point is outside the polygon. So, that is why I can say that the point A is outside of that polygon. So, this is called as a winding number method. There is some special cases, means what? Whenever the intersection point is a vertex itself. So, in that we are having these 3 cases, we will see one by one. So, in case number 1, this is what my point of question. and I have taken one point which is outside. Then I will draw a line between these 2 points. Okay. So, this is you can see here the one point is one intersection point is a vertex of polygon and other is intersecting to the edge, right. The another case, so here the two intersection point, one is vertex. In case B, we are taking one point, right, A, and another point which is completely outside. Then I will join the line. Now here you can see there are two intersection point and both are the vertex of polygon, right. So this is case number B. The next one, I have taken one point A which I have to find whether inside or outside, and I have taken one point B which is completely outside. Then I will join the line, and here you can see that the one point there are two intersection point from which one is vertex itself and another is intersecting to each edge. So in this way we have to find out these three cases and what will be the summation of the directions count here. So first of all we will see the case A and B simultaneously. In that, intersection point is a vertex, right. Here this intersection point is a vertex, here both the intersection points are a vertex. So in this situation we have to check whether what is the other end points are doing, right. So in this case we will see what are the other end points are doing here. So now for this we can see that we are having the two intersection point over here, right, C and D. For intersection C, let us see what we can do. So here the line you can see here for this intersection point C, the line is starting from above the line AB and its end below the line AB, that is why its count will be +1. Okay. For line CD, the intersection point is D, right. For this line the intersection point is D and the line is starting from this and it is ending over here, right. So it is not ending above the line AB, right, it is not ending above the line AB. So what we have to do for this D, we will see both the which are the line passing through this point D. So these are the two lines which are passing through this point. So with these two lines we will find out the endpoints over here. So what are the endpoints? These are the two lines which are passing from the line D and here are the two endpoints of that line. This is what the one endpoint, this is another endpoint, and we can see that both the endpoints are on the opposite side of this line AB. So whenever we are saying both the endpoints are on the opposite side, then what we are counting it as a -1. So we have to mention it as a -1 and -1. Okay. In that even odd we are counting it as a odd. Now here we are counting it as a -1 -1. Okay. So another case here C and D, you can see that these are the two vertex point. For C, these are the two lines which are passing from this vertex point. So what I will change, I will check that for this point where the line is starting. So you can see that from this point for this particular point the line is starting from above and ends below. So it will be +1. Same value will be here +1 for this another line which is a starting over here and ending below the line. So this is what the +1 +1. Same for the intersection point D, you have to check the line is starting. Now these are the two lines which is passing from this intersecting point. Now here the line is starting from below and ending here, and here the starting from below and ending above. So here we have to take as a -1 -1. Now I will consider the other endpoints such that if they are in opposite direction then we count as any one edge count. Okay. If that endpoints are in opposite direction, you can see here it is in opposite direction. So we will take any of the edge count, means either I will consider this -1 or this -1. We have to consider only one value, not both the values. Okay. If they are on the same side, then we have to consider only then we have to count that vertex intersection as a 0. Whenever both points are on the same side, then we will consider it as a 0. If they are on opposite side, then we have to consider any one of them. So here both the points are opposite side of C, right? Line AB for this C, both are on opposite side, so we can take either this so here we can take either this plus 1 or this plus 1. Same for a point D, we are having the 2 points which are on the opposite, so we can take this minus 1 or this minus 1. Same for this intersection point, again these 2 points are on opposite side, so we can take any one of from this 2 minus 1. So in this way we have to work out. So the next thing, how we can calculate that? So you can see here, case A, point C is equal to count. Now for point C, for the case A and point C, count will be plus 1. For a point D, we can going to consider any one of this point, right? So any one of this point is either this minus 1 or this. So I am considering this minus 1, so it will becomes minus 1. So 1 minus 1, it is 0, and if I got the summation as a 0, then what I am saying, the point is outside of that polygon. So here you can see that the point A is outside of that polygon. For case number B, now for this point C, we can either take this plus 1 or this plus 1. So I have taken 1 plus 1, and point D, you have to consider any of the minus 1. So I have taken minus 1, so plus 1 minus 1, it becomes 0. That's why we can say that point A is lying completely outside. So this point A is outside of the polygon. So these are the two cases. Now case number C, that we have to check. What about that case C? If endpoints are on the same side, we have seen these two cases where the endpoints are on the opposite side. Now here we have to check whether the endpoints are on the same side. So here AB is a line and which is intersecting into the C and D, right? So in this, for a point C, what we have to do, for a point C, you can see that the line is starting from above the line AB and its end below the line AB. That's why we are going to consider it as a plus 1. Therefore, for a point C, we are having a value as a plus 1. For a point D, the count is 0. Why? Because here the both points on that line which is passing through that point D, the endpoints of that lines are on the same side, and whenever the endpoints on the line are on the same side, then in winding number method we have to take the count as a 0. Why? Because this will become the plus 1, this will become the minus 1. So plus 1 minus 1, it will become 0. That's why we are taking the point D and its value count as a 0, and then we'll make the summation. The plus 1 minus 1 will become 0, and then I have to take the summation. It should be plus 1 and it should be minus 1. So value will be 0, and then we'll take the summation of this value, that is plus 1 plus 0 is equal to 1, and as I am getting my sum as a non-zero, then I can say that the point is inside. So you can see here that point A is inside of that polygon. So result is non-zero, that's why my point A will be inside of that polygon. So this is what the winding number method we have seen. So two methods we have seen for the inside test, that is even odd and the winding up. So the questions on this will be like given at least two methods to prove that inside test of polygon. So in that you have to write both the methods. Another question can be explain two methods for testing whether that point is inside or outside of the polygon. So this is also you have to explain both the methods. Then a question can be like what is the inside test, or write and explain any one inside test algorithm. Explain even odd method purposely or generally, it can be generalized like explain even odd or a winding number method. So this can be a question for that topic. So today we'll stop here. Thank you all of you.